Hello everybody. Being that this channel is guns, ammo, and drones, I think I should probably at least do one video of the current drone that I'm using. And this is the Mavic Pro by DJI. It is their first generation of their foldable drone. They have the new DJI Mavic 2 that have been out for a while now. But this is the one that started all of the craze with the foldable drones. This thing does shoot in 4K. It can also drop in down to 1080 and whatnot. But I always shoot in 4K because you can always take it down from there. The camera is located right here on the front. It's got a 3-axis gimbal, so anytime if it's turned on, it'll stabilize. This thing could just be bouncing around like crazy, and that camera is going to stay very, very smooth, even on sharp banks and things like that. It's really cool. I'm using my iPhone to video this with today, but my iPhone would normally fit inside here, which is what I would use to see what the camera sees as I'm flying. The remote control is actually a really cool remote. It allows the drone to fly pretty much 4 miles. As long as you're within line of sight with this remote control. Being here in Florida, we're right here close to the water, the ocean. I fly out into the ocean all the time, and now I've only taken this bad boy about 1.5 miles. That's what I was comfortable with. 1.5 miles is a long way for a remote control anything. At least civilian anyway. Drones, other drones, obviously military drones are different, but this is so much fun. I mean, pretty much every time I take this out, I see something in the water. Mostly sharks. Spotted some dolphins from time to time, and they actually will play with this thing. I'll fly real low to the ground or real low to the water, and I've even had a couple dolphins notice the drone and come up to the surface and then roll over and do belly flops and start spinning and do jumps and things. So I think they were just as curious and enamored with this item as I was at watching them. I'm not going to turn this on. I mean, I could probably get it going here for you. Never mind. I kind of didn't think this out today, but we'll get the drone going, because I usually do have my phone connected to this thing. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work all that great. It's been a while since I've played with it like that, but we'll see what we got here. It says it's ready to go. So basically, I would control everything from my phone. It's all touch screen. I can fly this without the phone in it, but I can only go maybe 90 or 100 feet in a circle. So it's really not all that fun. But you can see here that I could fly it. It turns on. It's fully autonomous, which is really cool. I can set waypoints with this thing. It'll fly out wherever I want, and all by itself. It'll come back and land wherever I want. And let me go ahead and shut it off. There we go. It's a really cool drone. I mean, I tell you what, these things are pretty darn amazing for what they do. And these ones here, these Mavic Pros, which are still incredibly popular. Today, you can find these things on eBay. You can find these on Facebook Marketplace. People are selling them left and right for $500 or $600. The new ones are about $1,200. And now the new ones do a few more things that this one doesn't. It's got a few extra features and whatnot. But a very, very fun toy in a sense. For all the things that it can do. I'm constantly flying this thing out over the house. Government, the FAA limits the ceiling to 400 feet. Now, I think I've gone over that a little bit, maybe 420. And there are extenuating circumstances. If you're flying over a building, or let's say an aerial tower or something like that, you are allowed to fly 400 feet over that object. So if that object is 400 feet tall you are allowed to fly 400 feet above that, which will technically make this drone at 800 feet. I'm not cheating. The system, that's just the system working for me. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to fly like that yet. If I ever do, I will take advantage of the system. I mean, that's just the way that it is. I've got 3 extra batteries here, 1 in here, 3 extra. All my chargers and things are inside. But it's just a really cool thing. If you have thought about getting into drones or trying to find some kind of hobby, as long as you fly responsibly, then these are absolutely amazing. Even for the brand new drone pilot, this particular one here, and actually any of the DJI products, the DJI is the most famous, I should say. I had 2 other ones before this one. They were both Phantom, the DJI Phantom series, the Standard and the Pro. Pro was 4K, just like this one. This one's 4K. And they basically fly themselves, to be honest with you. They hover themselves. This particular one has sensors in the front that will allow it to not run into anything. It also has a camera, actually has 2 cameras. 2 cameras, one here, I'm sorry, one down here, one up here, that can take a picture and look at the ground of where it took off from, and it'll land in that exact same spot. It also has little sonic sensors right here. It's like sonar, that it will send out a signal down to the ground to basically just take care of its own situational awareness. You can set these things to fly on their own. You can set them, once you basically get the thing airborne, if you're at 300 feet and you have to sneeze, or if you have to do anything, rub your nose, you can take your hands off the controls. The drone will just stop and hover right where it is. If you want it to come back to you, you just press this little button right here, and it's the home button. It'll fly right back to where it took off from, all by itself. And it's fully controllable. You can control how high it comes back to you. You can control the speed. It's got a real nice thing on the side, a button over here called Sport. Once you flick the button up for Sport, it basically turns off some of the safety features of the drone, which allows it to go much faster. I've had this drone up to 46 miles an hour. If you catch a good tailwind, you can probably go well over 50. Down here in Florida, being so close to the ocean, I can get headwinds, I can get tailwinds all day long down here. It's so fun to fly at the beach. I can't tell you how much fun it is. I even have the DJI goggles. So it's basically a big headset that you put on, but it's got 1080p lenses, or basically small TV screens in it, and it allows you to see what the drone sees without looking at your phone in bright light. And that's one of the reasons why I got it. Obviously, it's so sunny here in Florida, and so I got the goggles to wear so that the light doesn't come in from the sides. It doesn't come in, blinding me to where I can't see. I see everything in 1080 that the camera sees. Very, very fun. And I'll probably throw up some other videos. There are some videos on this channel, or on my channel, if you'd like to subscribe, that has a bunch of these drone videos that I took probably about a year ago, really before I started getting into this channel a lot more lately with the guns. But these are just things that I like. I like guns. I like the ammo that comes out of them, and I really like the drones. This probably will not be my last drone, but right now it works perfect. I don't have any problems with it. It flies amazing. Very, very easy to fly. You could be up and running. If you bought one of these today and you've never flown a drone, you could be flying in 2 minutes. Honestly, you're going to be nervous at first around objects and flying over water. I remember my first time flying over water. You're afraid it's going to go in the water, or you're going to lose power. But it's got a lot of fail safes in it. You can set it for 30% power, and when it hits 30%, it gives you an audible warning. It's like a loud beep, 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 beep. And once you get down to 10 or 20 or something like that, depends on what you set it at, it'll just start coming back on its own. And but anyway, this is the drones part of my channel. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the channels, especially my guns